I watched the game last night. I think Jackson Dart has a chance to be a fine franchise quarterback for the New York Giants. I mean, Eli Manning wasn't even the best Manning son, and he won 2 Super Bowls in New York. I think Jackson Dart's going to have a fine career. Drake Maye, it's a different discussion. He looks like he's going to be one of these guys about every 4 years that enters the league and is an all-timer. Size, arm, IQ. I mean, Drake Maye, he just doesn't miss. Even when he was missing in the end zone, they were smart misses. Nobody else could get him. Didn't have his left tackle. Didn't have a left guard. Doesn't have a number 1 wide receiver. They don't run the ball particularly well. And he had 30 points in the first half. It was a show-off flex game for New England that's been really good all season, but they don't get many standalone games. And, you know, one of the rules when somebody's going to be great, they don't necessarily make it look easy, but they make it look easier than it looks for 90% of the quarterbacks in the league. Joe Burrow, on third down, he doesn't have a huge arm. He's not a giant guy. He's not super mobile. It just always puts the ball in the right place when he's healthy. You know, like it's just great, looks a lot easier. I watched Michael Jordan for years. He wasn't the best ball handler. He wasn't the strongest player. He didn't have the best long range. It's just like 17 feet away, he just couldn't stop him. And the first year, he was a little reckless, got hit too often. Beginning of this year, he wasn't quite there yet, but I watched him the last 4 or 5 weeks. I was sitting there waiting for his bubble to burst a little bit, you know, sophomore slump. Nope. He's getting better every week. This is one of those guys that checks all the boxes. Jackson Dart, to me, feels like he is still, to some degree, kind of winging it and doesn't quite see the field as well as I'd like him to see the field. Drake Maye, you're watching it in real time. Stoic, not a lot of bad throws, not getting hit. I mean, listen, you get a franchise quarterback every year. You get an all-timer about every 4 or 5 years. I think we found one. He is on pace to be the greatest quarterback on first down in the history of the game for a single season. Number 2 is Aaron Rodgers. Number 3 is Drew Brees. And here's the thing. New England's offensive roster is still at least 1 draft class away. They got to upgrade the O-line, they need more dynamic players at tight end and wide receiver. Their run game, again, below average. So, and I'm watching them last night. I know I lived, in New England territory for a decade. So I watched every Patriot game during Brady, Belichick, Robert Kraft, Josh McDaniels. It's a very reminiscent team. There's a lot of do-your-job efficiency. Just like Belichick, Vrabel's special teams are great. And Josh McDaniel is designing the offense and play calling. Kraft's still the owner. Vrabel's a more player-friendly version of Belichick, and Drake Maye is a more mobile version of Brady. Tall guy, smart guy, doesn't take a lot of hits, doesn't make a lot of bad throws, super accurate. It's very reminiscent. And it's almost like you ever have a car you absolutely love, and you eventually turn it in. You still love it, but it's getting a little old. You turn it in, and you get a newer version, same model. That's what New England is. Vrabel is Belichick, really cares about special teams. He's just more player-friendly and more current. And Drake Maye has a lot of Brady. Accurate, moves well, doesn't take shots, not a lot of picks. He's just a little more mobile. I'm getting the new model of the car, and I'm not sure if I love the mustache. Everything else, we say it all the time. When you get the quarterback and the coach right, it just doesn't take that long. There's so much mediocrity in every business. Here's the other thing. They're ahead of schedule. Drake Maye is 2.5 years younger than Bo Nix. He's a year younger than Caleb Williams. He's 2 years younger than Michael Penix. He's a year and a half younger than Jaden Daniels. He's younger than Cam Ward. And he's easily the best of that group, the most accurate of that group, the most poised of that group. Well, talent is just part of the boxes you have to check. So I watch him. Something I look for all the time. Even his misses are smart. Like those throws in the back of the end zone. He had a deep ball. Only one guy was going to catch it, a Patriot. He didn't get it. Nobody did. Even his misses are in the right spot. He took too many shots last year. Beginning of this year, he wasn't quite there yet. But this kid is, he's 2.5 years younger than Bo Nix. He's younger than Cam Ward. And yes, it helps that he got Mike Vrabel. Every great quarterback, however, has had generally, Marino had Don Shula, Brady had Belichick, Montana had Bill Walsh. Drake Maye's first year, he didn't get the right coach. By the second coach, they got the right guy. His comp was Justin Herbert, who had to go through a couple of coaches and get the you-know-what beat out of him until he got Jim Harbaugh. Then their offensive line fell apart, and he's still getting beat up. But a lot of this dynamic is, I watched it last night, and I saw what you saw. It was very reminiscent of the old Patriots. Great special teams, excellent coach, very good on details, big, tall quarterback, stoic, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and Josh McDaniels designing and calling the plays. So Dallas plays Detroit on Thursday. I like Dallas in that game. And they just beat Philly and they just beat Kansas City. Dallas will make the herd hierarchy today. I'll tell you in advance. They are 6-5-1. I thought they'd win 4 games this year. Tops 5. Look at their schedule. They can win out. If they do, Dak will make the playoffs and will have made the playoffs with Jason Garrett, Mike McCarthy, and Brian Schottenheimer. Translation, the head coach just doesn't mean that much with Dak Prescott. When he first came into the league, I thought his success was circumstantial. He was a B quarterback, B+, but he had the best O-line easily in football, the best running back arguably in football, rookie contract. They stacked the roster. He is currently guiding the number 1 offense in the NFL, and he will do it with a third different head coach. And most of us, I like Jason Garrett more than other people, but a lot of you didn't like Jason Garrett. Almost nobody liked Brian Schottenheimer, and Mike McCarthy's a coin flip depending on which room you enter. and he keeps being number 1. I talked about conversations changing. Dak Prescott's all-time rank. This is year 10. He's got 5 or 6 left. This is the best he's ever played. He's got at least 5 years left. Top 10 in completion percentage, touchdown to interception ratio, and passer rating. It is time we start having a different conversation. Listen, Samuel L. Jackson started acting in his 70s. He didn't become a big-time star until he was in the 90s. It's not like Samuel L. Jackson just became a really good actor in the 90s. He finally got an opportunity. Quentin Tarantino, right? Like, Amazon didn't make money for 21 years. Like, sometimes it takes longer. The bake is longer to see greatness. But, people have said that Phillip Rivers will get Hall of Fame votes, and I agree. And one of the reasons I agree, because Phillip Rivers made the playoffs with Marty Schottenheimer and Norv Turner and Anthony Lynn and Frank Reich and Mike McCoy. He made the playoffs with 5 different coaches. Not everybody gets Belichick out of Michigan. And I love Brady, but sometimes Mahomes gets Andy Reid. You got a meddling owner. You got a lot of noise. And Dak Prescott is proving once again, and this is what the great ones do, they rise above the environment. They are not held down. And people will say, well, he hadn't had great success in the playoffs. Dan Marino had Don Shula as a head coach, sub 500 in the playoffs. Lamar Jackson has John Harbaugh as a coach. Lamar Jackson struggled in the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers, I think he's 1 game above 500. He's considered an absolute top 10 legend of all time. You can't hold playoffs against a guy. Eli Manning's regular season numbers will not be as good as Dak's. But he won Super Bowls, so absolutely a Super Bowl would help Dak. Nobody's disputing that. But I think Dak's very unique. I always say, by Thanksgiving of your second year, I feel very confident I can call you what you are. But, Baker took a while. Darnold took a while. Dak Prescott, he's hot. He's got the number 1 offense again. He's got a coach not everybody loves again. The pass protection with this offensive line is not ideal. They're making big trades in the middle of a season. Dak Thursday, Lions get a W, 7-5-1. Playoffs again. Put his head down. Listen, Seinfeld almost got canceled. Similarly, Dak has been very good in syndication. Every time I'm like, all right, he's Kirk Cousins with a star in his helmet. Little better mobility. This is the best I've ever seen him. It's not everybody is a child actor or De Niro in Taxi Driver. It takes a lot of actors a long time and a lot of writers to have their first great novel. Dak has been a slow bake, but if he wins Thursday, you can roll your eyes all you want. You start doing a deep dive on all his career numbers. He's playing better than he ever has in year 10. What, he didn't have 4 or 5 years left? He's going to end up top 5, 6 in a lot of stats. He just needs a couple of pelts in the postseason.